Lost me stream, didn't I? Unbelievable. People, if you ever tune into my channel, you wonder why I just start chatting like this. It's because I do these live. These go out live. They're not pre-rehearsed, pre-recorded. There's no sugar-coated donutry in my channel. I'm not interested in any of being polished, making sure my hair's in place. I'm not really interested in all that. So if you tune in and you're looking for something glossy, you're not going to find that here. I lost my stream, ladies and gentlemen. So maybe someone phoned me on the landline. That seems to knock the internet out a little bit. I live out in the country, in the Wilder Kent, Darling Buds of May country. Very parlarking me, you know. Oh, yes, very parlarking. And I've been blessed for my troubles during this life. I grew up a pauper. My mum and dad probably wouldn't thank me for saying that. I grew up a pauper in southeast London, Peckham. Not saying that everyone in Peckham's a pauper, hardly. But I now live out in the Wilder Kent with a very simple life, growing my own food, doing a bit of work when it pleases me, and sitting on my own treasures, because that's what kings should do. Where did you go? I lost my internet. Sometimes if someone rings my landline seems to interrupt the internet. So that's probably what's happened. Someone's rung on the landline, which is in the house. I'm sat in the studio right now. I've got my own little studio, people. I'm so lucky. So what I'm saying is, what happened? The stream went down. I found myself talking to myself and viewers disappeared, and I looked up top corner, unstable stream, and I thought, well, that's that. So if you tune in for the first time, you're going to find that I just come on random. This is live. I don't. None of this is pre-rehearsed. We're not polished. We're not scripted. We're not reading off any narrative. This is just off the cuff, and there it is. It's for entertainment and educational purposes only. All right. That's what my channel is all about. Entertainment and education purposes only. Afternoon, Assumption. Nice to see you, sweetheart. Oh, very pleased to have you. Did I say that sounded a bit saucy, did it? Oh, I had Assumption last night. Did you, darling? What was she like? She was gorgeous. Not in that context, though, darlings, before we all get to... What am I doing? I'm digging a hole, man. I'm digging a hole. I'm just... Stop digging. I'm stopping digging. Moving on. I'm just saying that before I had another video called Friday Rantings. It's been fantastic. The weather out there is glorious. It is. I've got my sand arena where the horses are. They're down the fields. The sand's flying up and around everywhere. It's a little bit windy. Everything seems to be covered in a fine layer of silver sand. But there we go. That's what happens. And I'm just, peeps, look, there's something got to be done. We're heading in towards a no man's land I don't think anyone wants to go to. You were banging on about the pots and pans. Yeah, that's it. The National Health Service, everyone's out bashing their pots and pans. They truly believe that this is happening, this pandemic, scamdemic. And I'm not so sure because we're not seeing the numbers. And we've got all these other people now saying it's not really, it's no worse than the common flu, right? People die of the common flus, similar sort of symptoms, pneumonia, that's all to do with the lungs. I don't remember being on this lockup last year when everyone, or for the last 10, 15, 20 years, when everyone's been dying of the flu, people just get on with it. That's the cycle of life, isn't it? If that's the way you're going out with pneumonia and that. And most people don't eat properly in this country. That's why they're getting all these ailments, because there's all processed food. It's all aspartame in the drinks. It's all fast foods. It's all fizzy drinks. What do you expect? You don't put good energy in, you're gonna get badness happen to your temple. Joe Rogan is leaving YouTube. Bless him. He's going to Spotify because of the censorship of doctors about hydroxychloroquine. Blimey. I don't blame him. I've gone over to the VK platform, which is the Russian equivalent to Facebook. The only difference is in England it's all right, but when you go into VK, you have to put a jacket on because it's quite chilly. Because you are in Russian airspace when you're on VK. But I have to say the VK platform does seem to be pretty decent. Maybe a tad racist, but that is what it is. I'm not racist. I'm a realist. I really am. So there we go. It's all good with the drug. However, when 5G hits you, your immune system is going to kill you no matter how healthy you are. Jesus Jones, you know what? Oh, we'll wait and see, eh? We'll wait and see. Most people, I would say, that have got this coronavirus and have probably died of it, I wouldn't mind betting that they had last year's flu vaccine. I'd love to see the odds on that. And I was just saying, we've had an American, I think, or Australian woman done a very passionate video. And the problem is most people will watch it and go, oh, no, governments wouldn't do that to us. Are you for real? Are you for real? You follow these people like they're messiahs, people, and they're not. They're the devil. They're dirty. Matt Hancock's now saying, oh, you've got to have a mandatory vaccination. So what happened to consent? What happened to free will, Matty Hancock? Why is it that you've got $1 million shares in this vaccine company? Why is it you've had a massive payout from Bill Gates? Like I say, we're not censored over here. We do our research. We do our study. People send me things. It's fantastic. To the elites, tried to bully him not to do not a good thing to do. Absolutely right, Paulie Hart. Nice to see you, brother. Patsy Ballantyne, the Russians be watching. Yeah, I don't mind the Russians watching me. They all seem to be pretty photogenic. The Russian people that are on, they seem to be very photogenic. I'm not having a problem scrolling down through them profiles. No, sorry. No, we're all good. We're all good. So VK seems to be growing. I've got an amassed over, I think, about 350 people now on there. That's happened in a week, which is fantastic. We're doing live streaming over there. It seems to be a decent quality. Seems to be decent numbers. The last live stream I did was only about 6 minutes long. That's at about 600 views. So VK does seem to be a fantastic equivalent to Facebook without censorship. So my time on Facebook now is spent on Marketplace, looking for local bits and bobs to do my ass up with. And that's pretty much it. I might comment every now and again. But as far as I'm concerned, once everyone migrates over to VK and VK takes a grip, and it will do. Trust me, it really will do, because it's a fantastic platform. It's actually easier to use than Facebook. So once that happens, then I'm off of Facebook, and Mark Zuckerberg can go and sort himself out. Jesus Jones says, so before all the coronavirus, now we are mentally on this zinc and Q, a bit weird in my world. Look, you, as all individuals, you've got to build your own homes on solid foundations, right? You've got to build it on rock and solidness. You can't build it on quicksand. So as much as I am interested in all this other stuff that goes on with Q and everything else and all these other theories or whatever you want to call them, that's all fantastic. It makes good reading and good viewing, and it educates you into the ways of the world. Am I going to base my trust on it? Not a chance. That's down to you, and you know I'm a man of scripture, and scripture tells it that you build your home on good solid foundations. Let me just check my security cameras because my dog is barking. And is there someone at my gate? No, there's not actually. I'll leave that on whilst I'm here so I can keep my eye. She's at the front gate. Troublemaker. VK, brilliant platform, Deb. Absolutely brilliant platform. So the government now, they're pushing ahead with their New World Order. They own and control everything that you do. They're now robbing dormant bank accounts. They've said this morning that all dormant bank accounts and deceased estates that haven't been claimed, they're having it. They're wicked vultures. You've all seen like a dead wildebeest in the desert, or a dead crocodile that's croaked it, and all of a sudden you see them buzzards flying around overhead. They're all circling. They're like, whoa, I'm not sure. Is he playing dead, or is it really dead? Is he going to chew our wings off? And they circle and they circle and they circle, and all of a sudden they go, you know what? I think it is dead. I think it's time to pounce. And then they come down and they land on the ground, and then they're about 30, 40 foot away. So they've got a little run and jump and a hop and they can get going again. And then they circle, and ever so slowly they get closer and closer and closer. And then once they're in on their target, it's all bets are off. They're all in there fighting one another, all pecking each other to get at that rotten, dead, stinking carcass. That, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, is our government. That's exactly what they are. They just are buzzards. They're stinking, horrible, savaging birds. That's all that they are. And they eat off of dead men's bones. You know, all this stuff was put out in the Pirates of the Caribbean. Because don't forget, to open the chest, Jack had to draw blood and drop some blood in, and then it was his. That was Jack claiming his estate. And one fantastic word that Jack used to use was parlay. Parlay. If you used, I guarantee, if you was in a court case, right, at any time in this country or around the world, and you said parlay, they'll all stop and look at you. They'll all go, "Oh, blimey, he said parlay." Because all these courts act in an Admiralty Maritime jurisdiction, that's why you have to go in the dock. You go down to the docks, you see vessels coming in, right? You're a vessel to them. Now, I wanted to make a clear distinction on what government was formed for, right? Now, this is not pie in the sky. This is factual. And if you go and do your own fact findings, you'll come up with the same synopsis, all right? That when government was formed many years ago and corporations were formed, they were only to deal with the business world, with the corporations themselves. So they could tax the corporations, they could administer the corporations, they could do this and they could do that. That was it. They were never, ever allowed to be dealing with private sentient men and women. That was off limits. It was purely to have jurisdiction over the running of business. So it benefited us. And the world worked pretty damn perfectly whilst that was going on. The railroads were flying in, the businesses were running, people were out buying their sweets and petrols and fuels and coals and this, and that was all keeping the corporations going. But they never had jurisdiction over us, the people. We was always off limits. That was the law. The law was you don't touch sentient men and women. You only have control over the business aspect of this world, right? Over the corporations. That's why they're all called corporations. So why, oh why? And you could only tax a corporation. You could only visit a corporation to check its conditions, that it was suitable to be put out for the people. That was the only jurisdiction you had as a government. But now they control and own you lot. And that's a fact. I'm not making this up. They purport to own and control all of you because they have deemed you all corporations. When you die, you're called a corpse. Oh, we got the corpse. Oh. And it's not a corporation anymore because the oration means to speak. Yeah? So you're just a corpse because you've lost the ability to speak and you're dead and you're lifeless. So you're just a corpse. You're not a corporation anymore. It's kinky. So what we need to do as a people is we need to set the record straight. We need to be coming out of Babylon. We need to be giving back their stuff, their shizzle, and saying, "No, mate, you've got no jurisdiction over a living man, a living woman. How dare you? What are you trying to do to me this day? And that your doings are affecting a harm and a soul." And I think you'll find that you're actually outside of the law. But Matt Hancock has clearly what he's done is he's put a rod in the ground, and they're judging the fallout from that. And if no one objects and everyone rolls over, well, guess what? It's game over. Your humanity or mankind as you knew it, the freedoms that it possessed, won't be anymore. And you are just forever going to be just debt slaves. And that's not right. And I guarantee you, the creator, whatever you want to call it, won't allow that. I'll guarantee you that the creator of the universe, whoever it is, God, whatever you want to call it, will not allow that to happen because he loves his creation. Trust me. And he ain't going to let that happen, guys and girls. You're doing the birds and injustice comparing it to our evil government. Yes, exactly, Assumption. I very much like that comment. They're more like vampires consuming everything in their path. Exactly. They are. They're evil, wicked people. So, but most people go, oh, Matty Hancock's been on BBC today, yeah. And he's told we've got to have these mandatory vaccines. And everyone will be out there going, oh, they sound pretty all right, sound pretty tasty. And you're all going to be having this baloney. And let me tell you, people, if they can start coming around your house and injecting you forcibly against your will and your wish, you've really got problems. And I mean serious, serious, serious problems. And that's not the world that we ought to be living in, right? We need to take responsibility for our own bodies. We need to take responsibility for our own lives. I don't go to the doctors unless it's got to be really serious. I've got certain things I take to keep myself healthy, and I try and work out. I try and stay fit. I try and drink good, clean waters. I try and eat good, healthy living food. And by the grace of God, may we all sort of get through. But most people have got into a state of hysteria in this country over this so-called virus, and they're all screaming at each other, going down all the alleyways in all the supermarkets. If someone sneezes, they have a fright fart and jump in the frozen food department, hoping that they're going to be safe. But one thing that they don't do and they don't understand is that they've not had a look at their own life and their own intake. I bet you and I'm not being stereotypical here at all. If people are concerned for their health and they feel a bit vulnerable, I bet if you looked in their in their supermarket trolley, it's going to be full of Coca-Cola. It's going to be full of all aspartame things. It's going to be full of processed food because they don't know how to cook properly. And I'm not having a dig. I am not having a dig. Most of them have all got microwaves at home. They go home, they put their stuff in the microwave, it goes ding, it comes out, and they go, oh, that's lovely. Look at that butter melting on that spud. They get it down them, not knowing that that's a slow death. That's a slow death. That microwave is a slow, grim reaper. Absolutely is. The microwave, I would say, is the biggest killer and the biggest attribute to why cancer is now at 1 in 2 in this country and worldwide. Their microwaves are vile, evil things. You are radioactively vibrating all the molecules in that food against one another. You're killing it nutritionally. And although you might have a full up belly at the end of it, you are taking in small doses each time of radiation. So bear that in mind. Jesus Jones, bloody Zionists, legal taking over God. Yeah, absolutely. The government will always have a legal right to do a thing, whatever it is that they see fit, because they're evil, wicked people. Trust me when I say that. And I don't enjoy talking like this. I don't enjoy talking like this one bit, one iota. But they are evil. They are wicked. Remember the Third Reich, everything that Adolf Hitler did with regards to his regime, with all of his infrastructure, with the way they treated people, with what they got up to. Everything was done legally. Everything was put through their parliament, right? All the killing of everybody, all the automatic rifles on the street, all the wars was all done legally. Legal is the undoing of God's law, ladies and gentlemen. And if we live in a sane world, or if we can try and get back to a sane world, we need to get rid of the word legal, throw it in the dustbin with the judiciary, and start afresh with God's law, natural law being the premise and foundation of all law. Because if you build all law on that foundation, you're building your stuff on solid ground. When you build your stuff on a legal system, you're building your world on grainy sand, where that building's going to fall over and disappear. And that's the truth. The legal thing is a travesty. And I just wish that the education system started off and taught kids about law, about respect, about how to be. They used to. Many years ago, we were all taught civil liberties, civil duties, whatever it was. We were taught how to be proper, how to behave, how to respect one another. And yeah, that's all disappeared. And it's so sad We're taught how to do 2 + 2, but we're not taught how to not all stab one another, how to run one another, to have no respect for life. That's not an education, ladies and gentlemen. That's an indoctrination. There's two different things between an education and an indoctrination. Baldwin's back open on the 1st. Beautiful. Up in London, Baldwin's, you can get Baldwin stuff online, by the way. I used to love their sarsaparilla. Being a Peckham boy, my dad always used to take me out once a fortnight and we'd go into Baldwin's. He'd have a pint of sarsaparilla and I'd have half a pint of sarsaparilla. And I always thought, I look around all the geezers there drinking a pint of sarsaparilla and I think to myself, I've made it. I'm here. Beautiful, beautiful drink, sarsaparilla. Dave, did you see the UK column on Wednesday? It sounds like they think some kind of coup is going. It's a coup. There is a coup going on. Coup there, mate. That is proper comment in there. And I'll tell you something now. You're doing your due diligence because that I was laying in bed the other night and I'm thinking to myself, this is a coup. There's a coup going on. This isn't about a virus. This is about control. Some woman down at Brighton Council yesterday. Everyone's down there on the beach. Loads of people out on Brighton Beach the last few days. All right. And the woman from the council going, oh, no, stay at home. You're putting a stress on the NHS. And we want to be able to make sure that we can offer you a service and you don't, harm yourself. Fear, 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 fear. This woman needs a good dry slap, as Mike Reid used to say in EastEnders, a double yoker. All about the fear. All you ever get on the mainstream libtard media is, oh, you want to be careful. Oh, yeah, there's been 10 stabbings today. Oh, this virus is going to get you. Everyone's behind their couch indoors going, Tom, have you heard this? And the wife's going, oh, no, my legs are trembling. When was the last time you ever heard anything decent on the news? Tell me. You ain't going to hear it. You're just not gonna. But I agree with you. Fantastic deduction there. There's a coup going on. I want to read that out proper. Fiona Pullen, a good buddy of mine, Fiona. Did you see the UK column news on Wednesday? It sounds like they think some kind of coup is going on. Army over government. I'm not that intellectual on paper, but it sounds worrying. Well, we had the government is a military order, right? Absolutely, it's military because when you look at everything that goes on out in the business world, people always tell you, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" "Oh, I've got a building company." Oh, right. So if they've got a big building company, they'll have a department, right? Oh, yeah, we've got a Southeast division. Military terms, ladies and gentlemen, military terms. So we've been in a very mild form of military jurisdiction. The people, martial law, mild martial law, and that martial law is getting a little bit stronger now. And they're strong arming it. They want to know how you're all going to react. Are you going to roll over and become tied down in a military jurisdiction? And the chances are you probably are. So in one country a few weeks ago, I think it was last week or the week before, all their people dared to go out on the streets. How dare you? Stay at home, behave yourself. And the army was called in. I think it was some South American country. I'm not too sure. Chile, Peru, somewhere like that. And their military come running down. The front row knelt and pointed their weapons at the people. And the back row stood up. You remember that old thing with the old military. One's down, one's up, yeah? As long as the one in front don't stand up when he pulls his trigger, you're all right. And the people are scurrying. But their government sent in the military. And they come in and give it the big strong arm, right? So just be careful. I absolutely think you are bang on with that. I really do. And I think the UK column is absolutely bang on. And by the way, the UK column and Brian Gerrish, people go, their shields, whatever. They're putting out good content. They're putting out good information. They have good people go on there with good information. It's a fantastic thing to watch. I quite like the UK column. Based down, I think it's in Plymouth. I've never met Brian Gerrish. I've had emails and messages from him in the past. And seems to be a decent guy. He's ex-Navy. And that's the thing with this, right? They are your conspiracists. Hang on, we've got ex-coppers Not as though that's anything to brag about. We've got ex-military brass. We've got people from all walks of life in this gig. Yeah, I found out last night my mate Tishy Wan, beautiful woman, very good with botanics, botanicals and all that. All your essences and oils. Really is good. She's got a little firm. She does it. It's fantastic. She was a singer when she was 16, on top of the pops and all that. I was like, oh my word. So we got so many people from all different walks of life, but now we're all singing the same tune. We're all, and it's fantastic. We've got homeless people somehow managed to tune in. I've had people tune in over the years, sending me messages that have been homeless, that have been managing to get on an internet somewhere and tune in. Mate, you got to tip your hat to the ingeniousness of these people to carry on regardless and to stand in the truth. It's fantastic. Ray Edmonds, hello, mate. Nice to see you, Ray. Great show, Dave. Liked and shared. Oh, go on, my son. Just had 10 minutes while eating lunch. We'll catch up the rest later, mate. You enjoy your lunch. Stay safe. By the way, suntan lotion, if anyone's out there doing the suntan, right, listen, there was a little old saying years ago. Only crazy people in English go out in the midday sun. Be very careful of the sun, right? As much as you need it, if you're in too much direct contact and it's too strong, it will burn you. Now, my own personal opinion, this is just my own personal preference. I don't use any form of sun creams, all right? Because if you go gently with it, all right, and you go gentle with anything in life, you'll find that your system will get used to it. It's like if you go running, you start, I say to myself, I'm going to start running tomorrow. Well, you ain't been running for 10 years. What's the matter with you? I don't know. I feel like I've got a rejuvenation of my youth. So you go out and start running, and in your naivety, you go out and try and do 20 miles, half kill yourself, end up in A&E. However, if you started off slow and done half a mile one day, 2 days later did a mile, and you just build up gradually, before you know it, in a few months, you could run that distance and your body would be tuned into it, right? Same with the sun. I just use coconut oil, and man, you smell absolutely gorgeous with that stuff. Or I use carrot oil, okay? And that's all we do, and we get bronzed. Because I actually think, don't forget your epidermis, your skin, darlings, with your exfoliations, all that, ladies. I know you love that beautiful word, exfoliate. Oh, what are you doing today? I'm going to sit in the bath and I'm going to exfoliate. Oh, lovely. Sounds lovely. Can I come round and see what you do there? Exfoliations. You all know what dead skin, good skin, blah, 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 blah. You all shed skin. And actually, if you look at your skin under a microscope, not through these, you'll see that it's scaly, all right? Like the serpents. It is scaly. We have scaly skin. You've all had skin come off. You go, oh, look at that big bit of dry skin. You pull it off, right? We're scaly. We do scale. We're scaly, but on a very minute version. You have to look at it under a microscope and you'll see we're scaly, right? So Satan's the serpent, owns the body. God owns your soul. That's why we wrestle in this world. You just got a truth bomb right there. That's God's honest truth. The body is owned and controlled by Satan, and your soul is owned by God. That's why we're always wrestling and fighting and never really know what's going on, right? That's the truth. So you put on all these sun creams. They're saying there's loads of carcinogens in these sun creams. I know so many people have just been out in the sun, loads of sun creams, battering themselves up in it, and guess what? They've got myelomas, skin cancers, this, that, the other. Just use natural. Whatever you're going to do in life, remember this mantra from today. Natural. Whatever, if it's sun cream, if it's food, try and get natural. Because nature heals people. Trust me. Not as scaly as the royals. Go on, Fiona. I'm loving that passion. Yeah, apparently Queen Lizzie's done a disappearing act. I'm not too sure what all that's about. Maybe she knows what's something that we don't know. Who knows? God bless them all. We can't be down and dirty on all these people because they're going to be judged for what they've done. Trust me. I'll send you a link, Dave. First 37 minutes, they did a good one with a leaked documentary from Sage, basically stating how they're using the media for fear porn. Mate, they are I can't watch it. I can't, and I won't even have it on. You know, we watch a little bit of cooking programs. I love cooking. I'm not a bad chef. I've got to say, I love the passion that goes into food. I love the food. I love the energy and the goodness that you can get from it, right? And occasionally I'll eat dirty. You know, I'm not averse to a little homemade pizza or a little shop bought pizza every now and again. But when it comes to all the Coca-Cola and stuff like that, I won't touch that with a barge pole. I make loads of homemade flatbreads. I'm always we grow food, potato. We grow this, and I think, you know, there's going to be some sort of shortages at some point in the near future. Maybe that's what this kind of second wave, but it's all about fear. Why not say, look, there's a virus out there and there are some people that are going to die, but we're all going to be all right, guys, because we've been through all this before. We've been through the plagues, the Spanish blues, the First World War, the Second World War, this war, that war, the Boer War. We're all still here, right? Which is amazing. It is absolutely amazing that we're all still here, but we're all under the cosh, and we've got to stop that. We've got to get to a point where government only has any say-so over the corporate world, business, and that every man and woman in this country, sentient, beautiful life, is free. All right? Freedom. Freedom's more than a 7-letter word, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. They took over and manipulated after they hacked into the world. Well, yeah, they did, but we've allowed them to do it. But we can see it now. You know, we're seeing that little Wizard of Oz, that little scary man behind the curtain who give it to Billy Biggin with his big balls, with all his smoke and all that, and he had everyone trembling. The lion fell over. Dorothy was having palpitations. The Tin Man dropped a fright fart. And the dog, it was the dog, see,